In the mountains, a boy could be seen smiling happily as he had achieved the God of Embroidery achievement. This boy is the main character of this story, and his name is Chen Fan. And like other stories, he also has a system. This girl who is smiling while clapping is the human form of the system. While she was laughing outside, she was thinking, "This host is so weird. He had said earlier that as a male, he would never learn embroidery, but now he looks so happy." At this moment, Chen Fan immediately appeared in front of the system and told her, "Now, the next thing I want to learn is how to cultivate." The system immediately becomes flustered and says, "Not yet." Chen Fan refutes, saying that he had already completed all the tasks she gave. He had learned zither, go, calligraphy, painting, poetry, singing, martial arts, agriculture, forestry, herding, and even fishery. Chen Fan became angry and shouted, "Not only did I learn these, but I even upgraded all these jobs to the God class. It took me 10 years to achieve this, and I did all this because you promised to teach me cultivation after I become a master in all of these jobs." The system smirked and said, "Haven't I been accompanying you of the past 10 years? Chen Fan refuted, saying, "But your so-called accompanying is that you just watch, eat, and lie down." The system pouted and said, "Well, I just take a little rest." All of a sudden, Chen Fan spoke, "Tell me the truth, system, you can't practice, right?" The system, hearing that, became embarrassed, and then it acted as if it was hurt. At this moment, Chen Fan heard a prompt, and a transparent blue screen appeared in front of him. The host has learned all system skills. The system will turn on the hosting mode in 3 seconds. Chen Fan was confused as the term hosting mode was new to him. After 3 seconds, the system screen disappeared and a huge current of energy blasted all of his clothes into smithereens. Chen Fan realized that he had been tricked, as the system disappeared without teaching him about cultivation. After some time, Chen Fan reached his home. He opened a door and a dog came running, wagging his tail. Chen Fan smiled and said, "Xiaobi, you are awesome. You could hear my voice through the door. You are not bad." But when the dog Xiaobi saw his master naked, he nearly fainted. Seeing Xiaobi frightened, Chen Fan explained this to him and told him that he had some accidents. Chen Fan hugged Xiaobi and said in a pitiful voice, "Xiaobi, that woman was more of a dog than you. She said that after I learn all trades and professions, she would teach me how to cultivate, but she tricked me and left me with some online farm." Chen Fan then goes to the other side of the house where the so-called online farm was. As soon as he saw it, he was mesmerized by the scenery. He then slapped himself and got up from his thoughts. He sighed and thought, "Anyways, tomorrow is my big day, as I will go out and learn cultivation from a master." At this moment, seeing his pet looking at him with teary eyes, he understood something. Chen Fan immediately patted his pet and said, "Xiaobi is hungry. Wait for me to pack up. We will play a hunting game today." On the other side of the mountain, a beast and a girl could be seen fighting in the sky. The girl said in an angry voice, "Evil beast, my Jade Sword sect will not spare you." This girl was the Jade Sword sect master's daughter, Yi Qingwu. The beast laughed and said, "Your Jade Sword sect's 3rd and 7th elder have long since defected to our 100 Beast sect. I am afraid that the Jade Sword sect is already in the hands of our young patriarch at this time." This Black Hawk was one of the 4 guardians of the 100 Beast sect. The girl got flustered and shouted, "It's impossible. Father must be fine." But before she could complete her sentence, the beast charged towards her while shouting, "It's better to mind yourself first at this time." As the attack landed on her, the girl got injured and began falling towards the ground. The girl thought while falling, "As long as I land in the mountains or forests, its flying ability will be limited, and then I'll have a chance to fight back. At worst, we'll die together." The Black Hawk laughed and said, "Trying to trick me into landing in the mountains or forests to fight me in close combat? Do you think I'm that stupid?" As the girl landed on the ground, she thought, "I have realized that the strength gap between the early stage and late stage of the martial spirit is too big. Is this the best I could do? Would I be killed like this?" At this moment, a boy's voice resounded through the mountain, "Wow, I saw that big eagle again just now." This boy was Chen Fan. He then took a stance and prepared an arrow with an excited look. He said, "Shelby, we will have roasted bird tonight." The beast got angry and shouted, "Bird? What bird? I am a hawk. A mere mortal dares to try to shoot me. You are seeking your own death." After saying this, the beast shot energy towards Chen Fan to kill him, but the arrow pierced through it and came towards him at huge speed, killing the beast in one shot. As the beast's eyes were slowly closing and his consciousness was dissipating, with a look of horror, he said, "A monster like him was present in this world. But he couldn't complete the sentence and closed his eyes. As the lifeless body of the beast landed near the girl, she was shocked and surprised to see the beast dead in one shot. Then her gaze shifted towards the arrow, and she exclaimed, "Isn't this a Tao pattern?" This arrow actually had a Tao pattern on it. At this moment the girl spotted a snow-white fur dog running towards where she and the now dead beast were. Chen Fan shouted, "Shelby, slow down. No one will rob you." As the dog got near the girl, she could feel the rich spiritual energy from him and realized that this dog was probably a peak martial spirit. She got up slowly and realized that if the man from earlier could take a peak martial spirit as a pet, then the owner of this demonic beast must be some transcendent master. This means her Jade Sword sect would be saved if she asked for his help. At this moment, Chen Fan reached where Zhaobi was and asked him, "What's the matter, Zhaobi?" "Oh, someone is here." The girl, seeing Chen Fan, thought, "I can't see the Kai of this martial artist. This should be because the expert has hidden his spiritual energy in Qi." Seeing such a beautiful girl made Chen Fan's heart pound because he had never seen someone so beautiful after coming to this world. She was like the fairy he had heard in stories. Seeing the excited look on his master's face, Shelby could only remain stone-faced. All of a sudden the girl kneeled down and kowtowed towards Chen Fan and said, "Please save," but before she could complete her sentence she fainted, as she was gravely injured from the fight earlier. Chen Fan supported her and thought she could hold out until now even after being so badly wounded. She must be a martial artist. After a while, inside Chen Fan's house, the girl was lying on the bed. Chen Fan thought, "Although I have obtained a title God of Medicine, this is for mortals after all. As for martial artists, I don't know if it will work or not." Chen Fan looked at his hand and thought, "If only I could cultivate, then wouldn't I be able to fly too?" At this moment he heard Zhaobi's bark and replied, "Coming, coming. Don't rush me, Zhaobi. Let's pluck the bird's feathers together." After a while, the girl opened her eyes and was shocked to see that her wounds were healed. She then looked towards the sun and murmured, "According to the shadow of the sun, I have only been unconscious for about an hour." She continued, "That could only mean that young master, no, that senior, is definitely a hidden master. If I could ask the senior for help, I will be able to destroy the 100-beast sect." But all of a sudden, she starts rolling on the bed, as she felt very comfortable. She had never felt something so soft and comfortable. After a while she stops and realized something, the pattern on the bed sheets and the Kai of the mattress. It is Tao pattern and spiritual Kai. Even the writing and painting on the wall, skies covering the mountains, beast howling. As she was lost in the painting, she realized that her Qi and spiritual energy became unstable and her cultivation realm started rising. She went from martial spirit middle stage to martial spirit late stage to martial spirit peak stage, all within a span of a few minutes. The girl was shocked and mumbled, "The world hidden in the painting is helping me reach enlightenment. What kind of sorcery is this?" At this moment she heard a soft voice, "Oh, you are awake." The girl was surprised to see Chen Fan appear out of nowhere, as she couldn't feel his presence at all. Chen Fan then asked her, "Where exactly did you come from? Perhaps have you ever heard of Earth?" The girl was surprised after hearing the word Earth. She then thought, could this be the world in the painting? But she had never heard of it. But she then thought she couldn't be ignorant in front of an expert. So she said, "Senior, I have heard of Earth." Chen Fan immediately became excited and said, "You have heard of it? Really?" The girl then continued, Earth is like the divine martial continent in our ancient legends. It is where the spiritual aura is dense and materialistic, with ancient beasts lying in the mountains. Strong humans can hand-pick the stars, and powerful demonic beasts could even swallow the sun and moon. It is the holy land of cultivation that countless martial artists dream of. Chen Fan was shocked hearing all that and thought, is Earth really so awesome? Are you sure we are talking about the same Earth? He then asked. Then do you know where this Earth is? The girl thought, maybe what I am saying is true, and this senior with great powers definitely came from the Forbidden Land Earth. She then said with an excited look, the Forbidden Land has always been a mysterious existence, and only a few on the entire divine martial continent know its location. I am not qualified to know such secrets. Chen Fan thought after hearing her nonsense. This girl definitely has some problem with her brain. At this moment the girl kneeled in front of Chen Fan and said, please take King Wu as your disciple. I will serve you for life, in return for saving my life. Seeing her like this, Chen Fan confirmed his suspicion. This girl definitely had some problem with her brain. She herself was a martial artist, and she asked me, a mortal, to be her master. Chen Fan hurriedly said, King Wu, what are you doing? Get up. But the girl remained stubborn and continued, Senior, you saved me, healed me, and even helped me break through. This is already a great favor. It may be a selfish request, but please allow me to worship you as my master. At this moment Chen Fan crouched in front of her and gently touched her face. Chen Fan then asked if she had a fever. He then extended his hand to her to get up. King Wu, even though embarrassed, got up. Chen Fan said, I am just a mortal. King Wu, don't mention such words as worshipping me as your master anymore. At this moment the girl got flustered and thought, Senior called himself a mortal. It meant that I upset him. It was my fault to ask such a great man to be my master. I am not qualified to be a servant or a slave to the senior. Chen Fan, seeing the girl doing weird actions, thought that she needed more time to rest, so he asked her to rest and lest. King Wu, seeing the receding back of Chen Fan, thought, why does Senior call himself a mortal? Could it be that Senior is pretending to be a mortal in order to experience the human world? Suddenly the girl had a shocked look on her face. She seemed to have been enlightened. She realized that her worshipping him as her master had blown Senior's cover and disturbed him from experiencing the world. That could be the only reason Senior was displeased. She got up with a determined expression and said, I must rectify my mistake. Since Senior wants to refine his heart through this world, then I will treat Senior as a mortal to get closer to him. King Wu was getting more and more surprised as time passed, because this Senior in front of her was doing each and everything in a very normal way, without even leaking an ounce of spiritual energy. Chen Fan started drooling, seeing that the beast was fully cooked. Even the aroma was heavenly. After all, this was the work of his status as the god of cooking. At this moment the girl came and apologized to him. She said that she was naive to have offended him. Chen Fan laughed and said, so you are back on your feet. Good to see that. The girl blushed a bit but still asked, may I know the name of sir? The boy smiled and said, my name is Chen Fan, but you can just call me by my first name. King Wu then said in a happy tone, then I will call you Sir Chen. If you don't mind, you can call me Zhao. Chen Fan smiled and gave her a piece of the Black Hawk beast he had roasted. The girl was shocked seeing one of the 4 guardians of the 100 Beasts sect to be reduced to mere food. She was flustered but couldn't bring herself to eat that. She hurriedly thanked him and said that she had some urgent business to attend to, so she won't bother him anymore. Chen Fan got up and said, all right, I will see you off. The girl got scared and said hurriedly, don't bother seeing me off, sir. I will take my leave now. After saying that, she hurriedly jumped on the roof of the building and flew away. Chen Fan could only watch in amazement as she flew away and disappeared into the sky. He then sighed and looked at the sky with a single thought, when will I be able to cultivate and become a martial artist? On the other side of the world, the Cloud Sword sect was in ruins. Wherever the sight reached were corpses and blood. Humans and beasts were seen fighting madly. A man in azure robe stained with blood gritted his teeth and said, Yang Tai, and Lai Teixin, you two ungrateful wretches. I have always treated you well. So why did you betray the sect and join the 100 Beast sect? This man was the Cloud Sword sect patriarch, Yi Jingheng. Lai Teixin, the seventh elder, smirked and said, "You old thing, you have been stuck at the peak of the martial spirit realm for 30 years now, and can't even break through. What is the point in everyone following you?" Then the old man Yang Tai, also known as the third elder, spoke. "Sooner or later the Cloud Sword sect would have been destroyed by the 100 Beast sect. We just made the right choice." The Cloud sect leader shouted with anger, "Shameless. If it wasn't for you cooperating with the 100 Beast sect to attack me then." But he couldn't complete his sentence as someone interrupted him. This man was Qin Hao, the young master of 100 Beast sect. He calmly said, "A wise man submits to circumstances. If you had chosen to follow my 100 Beast sect, then I would have spared your life and even rewarded you with the position of an elder." The sect master's eyes were red, and he shouted in anger, "You want me, Yi Jingheng, to submit to your 100 Beasts gate? Do you think it is worthy? Dream on." The young man smiled hearing this and said in a cold voice, "Then let me help you end your life." At this moment, from high above the sky, the shout of a girl echoed, "Yang Tai and Lai Teixin, you two shameless traitors. Today I'll clean up the sect by killing you." After hearing to what she said, there was total silence, but after a while, roars of laughter echoed. Both the elders said, "I was afraid the beauty would run away, but I didn't expect that she would come back so soon to die." The sect master, seeing this, was heartbroken. He hurriedly urged her daughter to flee. But Yi Qingwu, with a calm look, said, "Don't worry, father. Leave these trash to me." The sect master became angry hearing that reply and said, "Don't talk nonsense. Qin Hao is at the peak of the martial spirit realm, and you are no match for him. I will hold thee off, you run." Qin Hao, the young master of the 100 Beast sect, hearing this, laughed. "You want to run? Dream on." He then looked towards Yi Qingwu and gave order to the two elders, "Kill the sect leader Jingheng and catch Yi Qingwu." At this moment, before the two of them could even move, the girl had already charged towards them at incredible speed. Seeing this, both the elders stopped in their tracks. Their faces paled. They couldn't believe that the girl in front of them was a peak martial spirit realm. It was impossible. But before they could think further, they were slashed by the girl's blade. The young master Qin Hao, seeing this, was scared silly. He was so shocked that his mouth opened so wide that one could fit an egg in it. He shouted, "You are only at the early stage of martial spirit. How could you possibly break through 3 stages in a day?" Even the sect master was shocked. He couldn't believe that his daughter had become someone stronger than him. The girl then pointed her sword towards Qin Hao. Qin Hao, seeing this, was scared and quickly shouted for retreat. As he was running away, he threatened them, "Just you wait. The Cloud Sword sect would definitely be destroyed by the 100 Beast sect. We will be back." As the 100 Beast sect left, everyone cheered and celebrated, as they had won the battle. At this moment, a flustered voice came from behind the girl. "Explain to me what is going on." Manhua Island is located on the East China Sea archipelago of the Divine Martial Continent and is under the jurisdiction of Chiliang. There are 3 major sects on the island: 100 Beast sect, Cloud Sword sect, and the Sacred Sound Valley sect. The Nameless Mountain is located on the east side of the Cloud Sword sect. The Sword sect leader asked to his daughter Qingwu, "If what you said is true, then that senior is from the forbidden land of Earth. You really overestimated yourself to worship him." The girl, with a sad expression, replied, "It was your daughter's delusions. Fortunately, senior was generous and didn't argue with me." All of a sudden she said, "Father, why don't we just fly up to the mountain?" The man instantly got angry and shouted, "What do you know? Only by walking can we show our respect to the senior." Suddenly he calmed down and continued, "Oh, and also, later you can give this Cloud Sword Jade Disc to that senior, to repay him for his life-saving grace." The girl, after thinking for a while, said, "Although the Cloud Sword Jade Disc is our sect's inheritance treasure, your daughter is afraid the senior may not like it." The man sighed and continued, "In senior's view, the Cloud Sword Jade Disc is naturally worthless. But we also have to offer our most precious things, to show our sincerity. Although Qin Hao was temporarily repulsed, the 100 Beast sect will definitely come back, and this time iCloud Sword sect can only survive by clinging to the thighs of a senior like him. They then started walking towards the mountain where Chen Fan resides. After a while, King Wu pointed to a house and said, "Father, we are almost there." The man, seeing his surroundings, was shocked. The bridge he was traveling was covered with glowing Tao. The flowing water was filled with spiritual qi. The whole courtyard was covered by the flowing Tao lines and auspicious clouds. The immortal qi was seen rushing to the sky. Even the tree here was the legendary ancestor of all trees. The bird sitting on it was the legendary ancient beast, Golden Sun Crow. The moment the crow saw a stranger, he released a bit of his kai to intimidate him, and the result was, the sect leader got so scared that he fell down. The girl was surprised her father suddenly fall down. She asked him if he was all right. As the girl was already here, so the crow didn't intimidate her. That was the reason the girl didn't feel any qi or domineering intent. The man slowly got up and said with a trembling voice, "The powerhouses from Earth are indeed powerful." Inside the courtyard, Chen Fan was resting. At this moment he heard light footsteps and realized that he had visitors. He came running and opened the door, but he was surprised to see who it was. The girl greeted him happily and said, "Senior Chen, sorry to bother you again." Chen Fan asked, "So, what brings you here?" The girl replied in a cheerful voice, "This is my father. He had learned that I was saved by Senior Chen, and asked me to bring him here to thank you in person." Chen Fan, seeing the man, thought, "This uncle is sweating, and even his legs are weak. He seems to be immortal. He should be too scared to use a flying sword." But the man was thinking something else. Seeing the toothpick Chen Fan was using, he was shocked and thought, "This is actually a top-grade profound weapon. My sect's treasure, the jade butterfly, is a middle-grade profound weapon, but can't be compared to a toothpick." Chen Fan, seeing that he was rude, as he was greeting a guest with toothpick in his mouth, he spitted it out, so as not to be impolite. But this action of his caused both of the guests' eyes to pop out, because this toothpick was a top-grade profound weapon, which he just spat out like saliva. Chen Fan smiled and asked both of them to come inside. The man was embarrassed to be called his uncle from Chen Fan, whom he thought was much older than him, so he requested him to be called as Old Yi. As the sect leader entered the garden, he was once again stupefied by the scenery. Each and everything was a priceless treasure. Even the pool was full of spiritual beings. While the man was being shocked, Chen Fan felt proud, because this garden was the masterpiece he created after becoming the god of gardening, architecture and sculpture. Chen Fan then asked the man, "Old Yi, you know about gardens and architecture too, right? So, what do you think of the layout of my courtyard?" The man became flustered and thought, "Experts like to pretend to be mortals, so I have to play with him like an expert. If I boast too much I won't like it." Thinking so, he started speaking. "This house is built beautifully. This pavilion is built beautifully. The tree that is planted here is placed just right." Chen Fan and a girl felt awkward hearing all that. Chen Fan laughs and tells them to come inside for a cup of tea. Chen Fan thought, "Old Yi appears to be an ordinary farmer. What could I expect him to say?" Inside the room, Chen Fan gave them a cup of tea. While drinking it, the man felt the terrifying spiritual energy contained in it that was so powerful that it healed some of his whole internal injuries. It was more powerful than a miraculous pill. On the other side, after drinking this tea, King Wu kept blushing. Chen Fan suddenly asked, "Oh, do you have a soul test stone with you?" The girl then opened up her storage ring, and from it came out a blue-colored stone. This was the soul test stone. It could interact with the martial spirit of the martial artist. The girl smiled and said, "Sir Chen, you only need to put your right hand on the palm print." Chen Fan with determined eyes thought, "If I have a martial spirit, then I can find the sect, learn from a teacher, and eventually conquer the world by climbing to the top." Thinking so, he placed his hand on the blue stone. A cup of tea time has passed, but there was no reaction to the stone. Chen Fan with an embarrassed look said, "The soul test stone hasn't moved for so long. Do I not have a martial spirit?" The girl was even more shocked seeing this. She thought the world would be in an uproar. It found out that a martial expert doesn't have a martial spirit. Chen Fan sighed and moved out of the room. He realized why the system abandoned him. After all, he was a trash. As he left, the girl and the man whispered among themselves, "Father, how can he not have a martial spirit?" The man replied, "He must have used some mysterious means to make the soul test stone invalid. After all, he is worthy of being called a master." The girl then curiously asked, "But why would an expert pretend not to have a martial spirit and be unable to cultivate?" The man replied, "What do you know?" He continued, "To an expert experiencing the joys and sorrows in the lives of mortals, to laugh merrily or curse angrily is all cultivation of the mind. And for mortals, do you know, what is the most painful thing?" The girl asked curiously, "What is the most painful thing?" The man replied, "There is nothing more painful than not having a martial spirit and being unable to become a martial artist, to always lead a vain and humdrum life, to be the lowest, most humble creature on the divine martial continent." The man nearly had tears in his eyes as he thought, so Senior is letting himself experience the pain and despair of not having a martial spirit and not being a martial artist. He then told King Wu that it was a great opportunity for her. She should help comfort Senior and let him experience the warmth of the mortal world. Hence Senior would definitely remember her. In the courtyard, Chen Fan stood there with his eyes closed. He was lost in his thoughts. When he first came to this world, he believed that he could do whatever he wanted and become the ruler of this world because he had a system, but he didn't expect all his dreams to be crushed. He couldn't take it anymore and cursed the heavens. At this moment, a sweet voice was heard from behind. "Sir Chen, are you okay?" Chen Fan turned around and looked at the beautiful girl King Wu. She said in a comforting tone, "Maybe there is a problem with the soul test stone I bought. If you can't become a martial artist, then it is good to be a mortal." Chen Fan calmed down and thanked her. She then took out her family's heirloom and gave it to him. She said that this was the jade butterfly and Senior must accept it. Chen Fan took it and thought, "This is the token of love." But suddenly he had a frown on his face because the jade was good but the carving on it was horrible. But he still accepted it, so as not to make the other party sad. The sect leader on the other hand sighed seeing this, because looking at the expression of the Senior, the jade butterfly was just an ordinary thing for him. King Wu then bowed and said, "Sir Chen, it is getting late. We will go back first." At this moment the man asked Chen Fan if he could help him throw out the garbage. The reason for it was simple. It was because when Chen Fan threw the toothpick on the floor earlier, the dog came and threw it into the dustbin. Chen Fan on the other hand thought, "This Holdi must be very kind. No wonder he suffered so much in order to pay for Tao's cultivation." Chen Fan then smiled and said, "Yes, you can. Also, this black hawk meat tastes good and is very nutritious. Although it is not too much, it is also good as a snack. Take it with you." After a while, the father and duo prepared to leave. Chen Fan was coming to send them off, but they denied it, saying, "Senior must not waste his time on them." Chen Fan told Zhou to come visit any time she felt bored. On the other side of the world, the 100 Beasts Sect Hall. A man was sitting on the throne, and in front of him stood Qin Hao. The man on the throne was Qin Peng, the sect master of 100 Beast Sect. He asked, "What you said, are you sure it is right? That King Wu only had an early-stage martial spirit, but she broke through 3 times in such a short span of time and reached the peak. It is really hard to believe." Qin Hao said, "Yes, it is true. Maybe she encountered a good opportunity." The sect master continued, "Only after we got the elixir given by Sir Envoy were we able to break through to the peak from the early stage in 3 days. But that girl broke through in a single day." Qin Hao then replied, "That is the reason I asked for a temporary retreat." The sect master turned to a hooded man and asked, "What do you think, Sir Envoy?" The hooded man had an eerie grin on his face and said, "On Manhua Island, I am afraid there is only rumors. But the only thing that could make her breakthrough would be the treasure of Taoist Hoyan." Qin Hao was shocked and said, "That is a great opportunity. No one had ever found it for hundreds of years." The envoy smiled and said, "If our 100 Beast sect can get this opportunity." Qin Hao bowed to the sect leader and immediately said, "Please give me your order, Father. I'll take our elite squad and wipe out the Cloud Sword sect today and rob the treasure of Taoist Huoyan." At this moment the envoy interrupted. He said, "There is no need to rush. Just spread the news that the Cloud Sword sect had obtained the treasure of Taoist Huoyan." The sect leader with a strange look said, "Sir Envoy, what you mean is to let them have a dogfight." The envoy smirked wickedly and said, "We will just sit back and reap the benefits." Hearing that, both the father and son smiled. On the other side, in the mountains, King Wu asked her father to quickly open the garbage bag, as there was the high-grade tool inside. As soon as the man opened it, they both were blinded by the sudden strong aura, which had materialized in the form of light. The man picked up the toothpick and exclaimed, "Senior's garbage is actually a tool that is worthy of being the powerhouse of Earth." The sect leader said, "If we were to use even a sliver of this toothpick's power, the mountain in front of us would vanish." The girl with an excited look said, "Senior's treasures are indeed so terrifying." The man then thought, "Originally I wanted to go to the mountain and get a breakthrough after the senior enlightened me, but this meat looks so tempting." The girl handed him the meat of the black hawk and told him to eat first. The man ate the meat and exclaimed, "This meat has such strong spiritual power, and its taste is heavenly." At this moment the man's strength soared, and in an instant all of his upper body clothes burst into pieces. The man realized that he had broken through. The girl was shocked and happy seeing this, as her father was trapped at the martial spirit peak realm for 30 years, and with his qualifications he wouldn't have ever been able to break through. But after eating the meat senior gave, he managed to change his fate. The man excitedly kowtowed towards the mountain where the senior lived. The next day, in Chen Fan's garden, the white dog could be seen chasing a black crow. Chen Fan stood in front of the entrance and cursed, "Oh no, I have no more space in my inventor, so I wasn't able to bring a tent." He then smiled at the crow and said, "All right, this time I will go down the hill to look for an area to set up the camp. I will try to look for the soul test stones that the sects use. It will be inconvenient to bring you guys along." He then bid farewell to his pets, the crow and the dog, and told them to take care of the house till he returns. As Chen Fan left, the crow and the dog returned to their original forms. The crow transformed into a divine phoenix, and the dog transformed into a heavenly wolf. The phoenix teased the wolf, saying that Master patted me and even called my name. The wolf smirked and said, "Master called me by my name first. I am forever number one in Master's heart." An ant on the tree had transformed into a gigantic creature. This was the ancient demonic ant. It said with a sad look, "This is the 10,086th time that Master has not used me." The bundled dragon vine also spoke, "Is Master going to play as a commoner trying to pursue the path of the Tao?" The heavenly wolf intervened, "That is Master's own business. A demonic ant, Master hasn't called you because you don't have the qualifications to be called." The demonic ant got angry and shouted, "Master hasn't kicked me out, so he definitely knows about my existence." The demonic ant started crying and said, "I know Master will never abandon me. I have entrusted him with my life." At this moment the heavenly tree elder spoke, "Don't argue. Master has given us a task to protect the house till he returns, and we shall do that." Kingsey Town. Chen Fan was greeted by a farmer. The vegetable seller, also seeing him, spoke in a friendly tone, "Young Master Chen, what sorts of goodies did you bring to the market today?" At this moment a seductive woman whispered something in Chen Fan's ear, "Young Master Chen, the escort sect is waiting patiently for your return." Chen Fan was so scared that he directly jumped back 10 steps. He said hurriedly, "Don't come near me." The woman said, "Relax, we won't eat you." Chen Fan hurriedly ran away. The woman's voice came from behind, "Young Master Chen, we won't even charge from you." As Chen Fan was running away, he was caught by a man in a mustache. He said, "Come and sit. We will talk about today's new dishes. You must take a look." Chen Fan was surprised seeing the boss of a popular restaurant. As he entered the restaurant, he smiled and praised, "Looks like the business is booming." The boss was treating Chen Fan with utmost respect. He said, "It is all thanks to young Master Chen, as he taught us how to cook, and our Faiwan Inn had been getting more and more lively." As they were moving upstairs towards the VIP area, the man said, "Recently our Kingxi town has been getting more and more lively, and we don't know why. A lot of martial artists have been attracted and have occupied the second floor. Would you like to stay on the first floor for a while?" Chen Fan thought, martial artists and mortals are very different. Boss Wang is probably worried that I would be uncomfortable sitting on the second floor, but martial artists don't eat people, so what is there to be afraid of? Chen Fan smiled and said, "There is no problem, I will go to the second floor." The man smiled and said, "All right, enjoy your sitting then." At this moment a flying cup of wine came and crashed in front of Chen Fan, taking him by surprise. Chen Fan poked his head and watched what was happening. A young master with an arrogant expression was shouting towards a waiter. He said in a mocking tone, "Aren't you Lin Zheoyan, the genius of the Lin family? What are you working in such a shabby inn?" Chen Fan also heard the other people talking. Lin Zheoyan, wasn't that the genius who started martial arts at the age of 8, and then had a martial spirit breakthrough at age 9? It is a pity that when he turned 10, he suddenly lost all his spiritual powers and became useless, so he was kicked out by the Lin family. Chen Fan thought, why does this story sound so familiar? The waiter Lin Zheoyan thought, if it wasn't for that damn creature eating my spiritual power, I wouldn't be here. The arrogant man dropped a coin on the waiter's head and said, "Come and kneel in front of me 3 times, and I will tip you a gold coin." The waiter couldn't take it anymore and shouted, "Lin Dong, stop bullying people. I was already abandoned by the Lin family. What more do you want?" After saying that, the waiter turned around and started walking back, but the arrogant man Lin Dong couldn't take the insult on him and shouted, "Hey, stop right there. Who said you can leave?" The inn owner whispered to Chen Fan while pointing to the angry waiter, "This guy always talks to himself. He says something like this, 'If it wasn't for you, old man, sucking away my martial spirit, I wouldn't have been kicked out of the Lin family. And my fiancée wouldn't have canceled the marriage." Chen Fan, hearing to the inn owner, said that maybe the boy had lost his mind. Chen Fan got up and was walking when he unconsciously crossed paths with the waiter, and at this moment something magical happened. From within the body of the waiter an old man emerged. Actually, he was thrown out of the waiter's body. The old man was shocked, but then he immediately became afraid and ran away in air. The waiter finally realized that the old parasitic man had ran away. He was so happy that he knelt down and cried towards the heavens. Now that the old guy was gone, he could quit being a servant and start his cultivation journey once again. Chen Fan stopped in his tracks. When he saw the waiter laughing and crying at the same time, he realized that the waiter was indeed insane, so he thought of helping him. When the waiter saw Chen Fan, he realized that the old man ran away because he was scared of this mysterious guy who helped him now. The waiter immediately kowtowed towards Chen Fan and said he would never forget his kindness. Chen Fan's eyes nearly popped out. Seeing this, he hurriedly said, "I am just trying to help you stand up. No need to treat me like a god." As the waiter took Chen Fan's hand to get up, he realized something, that this senior had no martial aura. But then again, the waiter realized that maybe the senior is so strong that he couldn't even see his power. At this moment a loud arrogant shout was heard. "Trash is trash. Why would you help him?" This was the same arrogant young man Lin Dong, who had humiliated the waiter earlier. He then continued his rage towards Chen Fan and said, "You have lost all reputation in the eyes of the Lin family." Hearing that, the waiter got so angry that his eyes went red, he shouted, "Lin Dong, you can insult me all you want, but don't insult senior." Lin Dong laughed and said, "Two pieces of trash grouped together, so what if I insult you? What can you do about it?" Chen Fan at this moment stopped the waiter and told him not to be angry. But the moment Chen Fan touched the waiter, unknown to him, terrifying amount of spiritual energy flowed from his body towards the waiter, increasing his martial spirit to an unknown level. The waiter's confidence soared as he shouted, "Lin Dong, many years back, you were defeated by me, and that would never change, even now. You will forever be under me." Lin Dong couldn't take it anymore and attacked the waiter with his ki-infused punch. The waiter also attacked with his ki-infused punch. As both the punch collided, huge spiritual waves spread through the inn. But what was most shocking was the flying Lin Dong with the broken nose. He then landed on the same table where he was sitting earlier, breaking it in half. Chen Fan's eyes popped out seeing the phenomenon in front of him. He thought, has this guy been pretending to be weak? A martial artist working as a servant? He is definitely insane. The waiter himself was very shocked seeing this. He felt very grateful to Chen Fan. He then repeatedly kowtowed out to him saying, "Thank you, senior, for restoring my cultivation." Chen Fan realized that this kid was definitely making fun of him. He then asked, "Hey kid, did you hit your head or something? You know I am just a mortal. How could I possibly have fixed your cultivation?" The waiter was surprised hearing that and thought, why was senior calling himself a mortal? Could it be that he wants to lay low? If that is the case, then I won't expose his cover. At this moment the innkeeper came hurriedly and took Chen Fan away. He said, "These are the latest dishes we have made. Please come try." As Chen Fan was leaving unknown to him, the waiter took a pledge that day. "I, Lin Ziyan, will forever remember the kindness that senior showed me today. I can't repay you right now, but I promise, one day when the whole world would remember my name, I would return and stay by your side to assist you." Thinking this, the boy got up and left the inn. The innkeeper asked Chen Fan, "Young master, I see that you have a baggage. Where were you planning to go?" Chen Fan said, "I was planning to look for a sect to learn martial arts." The innkeeper smiled and said, "With young master's knowledge and talent, those sects must be rushing to recruit you." Chen Fan, while eating, thought, maybe I am thinking too much. Maybe King Wu's soul test stone was really broken. At this moment Chen Fan came out of his thoughts. After hearing the innkeeper's excited voice, he said that he had heard the Sacred Sound Valley sect was currently holding a martial arts test in Kiangxi. If you were to meet the requirements, you could directly enter it and train. Chen Fan was so excited that he stood up. The innkeeper congratulated him in advance. Chen Fan quickly started eating in excitement because he had heard that the soul test stones in the Sacred Sound Valley were the strongest. Maybe he still had a chance. After eating, Chen Fan put a silver tael on the table and left. The innkeeper got up and said, "Young master, why did you give me money? Please take it back." Chen Fan's voice came from a distance. "I am going to the Sacred Sound Valley for the martial arts test. Keep this money as a token of our friendship and wish me luck." That's all for this video. I hope you were entertained by this story. Now here is my question. What do you think would be the outcome of the test? Would he be able to qualify it and enter the Sound Valley sect? Or would something more interesting happen? Well, stay tuned for part 2.